Imagine this, a brand new action RPG with groundbreaking graphics, fully customizable character, a diverse skill tree, a diverse world, NPCs that all interact in different ways and go about their own days. And all this coming from a trusted developer whose last game was just spectacular. Your pants might be a little bit tighter just thinking about it. Then release comes, $60 down the drain, but you know it'll all be worth it for the experience. Until the true horror unfolds. On December 10th, 2020, I purchased Cyberpunk. A static for a single-player RPG to be set in a more modern time, instead of the usual fantasy RPGs we were getting during that time frame. This just felt new, and it was made by CD Projekt Red. What could possibly go wrong?
Everything.
I was even more excited at the fact that this expansive RPG came out prime COVID, so I had nothing better to do but play this game. I loaded in and holy shit, it was a disaster. Tons of promised features missing, buggy ass gameplay, lackluster combat, visual glitches in abundance. It was just a complete and utter dumpster fire. So bad in fact that full refunds were offered and even Sony took it off of their store on December 17th. A mere 7 days after release. That is just insane, by the way. I have never seen a release this bad and would hope to never see a release that bad again. Well, that's not good. And it's even worse that it happened in the midst of COVID, so nobody else had anything better to do but dog this game out like the little whore it was.
Euphoria, shut the fuck up. I know that was you. I ain't even gotta look. I should send your ass back to Crenshaw Pete with his hot ass coat hangers, bitch. Would you like that?
Rightfully deserved, by the way. But you wanna know who didn't get their refund and who instead thugged it out trying to play the story and experience the content that it at least tried to offer? Me. Even though I wasn't sober half the time doing it, I still went through. Something was there underneath all this bullshit and I thought it was gonna shine through at some point, but it just didn't. Until years later. This was my first impression of Cyberpunk 2077 and I have struggled to get back into it, and I have tried. But something about that release really put a bad taste in my mouth. I think it could have been how hyped I was for the game to release just for it to fall flat the way it did. My whole interest in the game just came to an abrupt and disappointing stop. The only thing that even piqued my interest again in the game was the Edgerunners anime that came out of nowhere, and it was a fucking banger. But the thing about it, it was 2 years after release. And even after this anime came out, you had to wait a whole nother year for Update 2.0 to fix the rest of the game. Alongside the Phantom Liberty DLC that came out during this time, which I haven't played yet. I've heard great things. It's just so hard for me to even get back into it because of how long all these updates took to fix the game. It's just too much time has passed for me to be hype about a game that I spent $60 on for it to be good after 3 years. The fuck I look like a chump? Maybe if this was like an early access title or if they took me to dinner before they decided to raw dog me, this might have been okay. I won't deny the tremendous work that this team had to do to make this game good again and even get back into the good graces of the public. I never thought that the actual story was bad or that the world building wasn't there, because it was, but not being at the quality it should have been at full price on release just rubbed me the wrong way. And then these updates added features that should have been there 3 years ago. Well, about 4 years ago now. Let's just take Update 2.0 for example. The types of units in pursuit and their behavior will depend on your NCPD wanted level. These chases include various NCPD vehicles, roadblocks, and max tac swooping in with AVs. Keep in mind, this was 2 years after release. GTA was doing this shit for like a decade now. For an RPG that revolves around gang activity and crime, you would think this would be a no-brainer to have in on release, but it just wasn't. The whole police system was just a mess initially. Let's just go over a couple more updates just to be clear on what I'm talking about. NPC vehicles can now switch lanes to avoid obstacles.
Bruh.
Pedestrians will now try to avoid running into moving vehicles.
Bruh.
NPC drivers are now better at avoiding you when you're on foot. I mean, come on, what the fuck are we doing? This feels like the most basic things weren't even ready for the game and why I feel like it's so hard to even pick up again. With all that being said, I don't even think Cyberpunk is a bad game anymore. I think it's actually one of the better RPGs out right now. In preparation for this video, I even broke through the hurdle to play Cyberpunk, and I've been playing it continuously now for a while. The whole reason why this even came to me was because the Witcher 4 tech demo came out recently. I mean, just look at the cape not clipping through the weapon. What the hell? I won't believe that until I see it. But you want to know what looked just as good as this trailer did? The Cyberpunk 2077 tech demo. That shit looked gorgeous, but release was a different story. The Witcher is CD Projekt Red's flagship series, and I feel like if they fuck up this release like they did with Cyberpunk 2077, they can kiss their reputation goodbye. This is only one example of a first impression ruining a game for me. I mean, just take No Man's Sky for an example. I had the same amount of hype for that game that I did this one, and then we seen what happened on release. And yeah, they've also made leaps and bounds for this game to be good again with all the free content and free updates, which I honestly respect, by the way, because they're still going. But it's just so hard for me to get back into when that was my first impression with the game. And honestly, I think they did a better job with their content additions than they did with Cyberpunk. But at the end of the day, it's a different type of game. Cyberpunk is a single player and the other is a live service, so one does need more updates than the other. This was yet again another game that I bought day one and I was super hyped for, just for the release to be utter dog shit, and why it's so hard for me to get back into it, even though it's a great game now. I feel like nowadays developers are so comfortable with just releasing an unfinished product, and it makes it even worse when I buy an unfinished product at a full price not knowing that it's unfinished. These developers know that they can just go back in later on and patch the game or update the game, but a lot of the times it takes way too long. I understand if maybe it took like a week or something, but if full features are missing or I got lied to by the developer, it's not okay. I'm just not a fan of AAA comeback stories. Maybe if it was an indie developer or something, I'd be more lenient. But AAA developers, I'm not a fan of comeback stories. I'm just not. I paid $60 initially and I expect a $60 quality on release, not 3 years down the line. Or maybe you just don't give a fuck about when the content comes out as long as it comes out eventually. And you just like eating dog shit until then. Let me know in the comments if this also ruins your experience for games, or maybe you just don't care. But yeah, if you enjoyed the video, like...
Subscribe.